Welcome to Sales is Not a Dirty Word, the podcast that shows you how to convert 8 out of 10 sales conversations without acting like a douchebag. I'm Aleasha Bahr, creator of Black Sheep Sales, a signature fit sales system that's helped fast growth companies turn messy, inconsistent sales teams into aligned, profitable machines. Because if it's a fit, it's a fact, and there's no selling involved. This podcast is where modern sales meets modern sales leadership. It's about a smarter, more effective way to sell and lead sales teams that actually works in today's world. We're talking strategy, messaging, performance, and the system your sales team actually needs to win. If you're done with outdated tactics, pushy, aggressive sales cultures, and high turnover teams, you are in the right place. Ready to build what works now? Head to Aleashabahr.com. Now, let's get into it, you guys. This episode is going to talk about how to onboard a new salesperson. And it's one of those things that is so interesting because most companies have almost no onboarding for salespeople. It's one of the only job roles where people say, hey, figure it out, good luck. And if you don't figure it out in 3 months, then you'll be fired. Can you imagine telling someone else, like an HR director, an accounting, representative, like any other staff member, can you imagine telling them that and it working out well? No. So why do we expect this of our sales team? And it's so clear that the reason that there is a lot of turnover is because of the lack of setup for success that salespeople have. It's very much a sink or swim mentality. And maybe they'll tell you to, read the company handbook or shadow a salesperson and see how they do it. But none of that is helpful because what a salesperson needs to succeed with you is to know about your competitors, to know about your target audience, their challenges, their desires, what they're looking for, to know the talking points of your service and how they're different from the competition, and to understand your different packages and how to position them. And then also, it really helps when they have sales tools too, because what I see usually is that salespeople are left to create their own sales tools, their own proposals, their own slide decks, their own one sheets. And guess what, guys? Salespeople are not good at copy or design. So that means that they're really unattractive pieces that they put together. And they're definitely lacking as far as compelling messaging. So salespeople are different than sales strategists. A strategist can look at your product and the market and the audience and how you're different compared to the competition and position you as the best choice and give you different talk tracks for that. A salesperson is going to have to do a lot of trial and error on real time, on real leads, which means a lot of wasted money, time, and opportunity for them to figure out what works. And maybe they'll never figure it out. But shadowing someone else isn't going to be how they figure it out because that person's going to present things in a way that has worked for them. And they are a different person. So being able to objectively offer some, talking points that aren't personally stylized, that aren't, just based on relationships. Because so often someone will shadow a top rep and they've just got all these relationships established with people or a reputation established. And it's not really about how they're positioning or talking about the service, right? So it's not really helpful, actually. And the top salesperson's annoyed that they have to carry this person around, right? So instead, it makes such a huge difference to have some type of onboarding. Like at a minimum, how do you get paid? Who do you go talk to for what? Like, who are the right people? If I need help with sales tools, I go to this assistant. If I need help understanding fulfillment, I go to this person. If I need help with my time off, I go to this person. Just like a quick cheat sheet of people that are important to know and when you tap them in. Also, how to use the CRM, training on how to use the CRM, training on the offer itself, recorded sales calls that were won, proposals that win. So often in a company, every salesperson is using a different slide deck, a different proposal, a different approach, a different way of talking about it. And so often, salespeople also promise stuff that the fulfillment team can't even deliver. This is because, yes, they're just trying to get a sale, but also because there's probably some fundamental misunderstandings about what they can actually do because companies don't provide them with any of that information ahead of time. So the difference when you have onboarding for your salespeople, if it's built out in a way that is useful, that's going to let somebody know how to orient themselves in the company, how to get the help they need, and how to position this to customers, then they're going to perform really fast. Instead of it taking 90 days and maybe working out, that person's going to perform in 30 days. And they're definitely going to perform unless there's something fundamentally wrong with them. Because what you're doing when you put somebody in a sales position and just say, hey, figure it out, sink or swim, is you are possibly losing a really valuable salesperson who just needed direction. You're betting on that person being able to figure out the strategy on their own, or use their reputation and relationships in the industry to make sales, regardless of them knowing what the hell they're talking about. Both of those are gambles that are simply not worth it when you can make something more certain by having the right direction and training in place. So this is something that I experienced being a salesperson at multiple companies, not to mention working with other sales teams who they bring people on, and these people have zero direction. They're just supposed to figure it out on their own. So there's all these meetings a lot of times, an abundance of sales meetings, but the sales meetings aren't giving them that like meat that they need on the first month to really hit the ground running. And it is so worth it to not have that turnover. Turnover is so expensive. And when you just throw someone in and tell them to figure it out, you're going to have high turnover. You're going to have leads lost. It's just blows my mind, actually, that people don't put any intention into the onboarding and that is the standard for sales because of the amount of money that's lost, the amount of energy. There are so many people who have potential if they simply had the right information and training. So having that onboarding built out, it doesn't take very long, you guys. Like, I don't know, a couple weeks or something. Have the people who know the elements the best or have a strategist like me come in and build it for you and give them exactly what needs to be built out. I have a list of those things if that's helpful for you. Give them some sort of anchor as they are getting into this position the same way you would with any other position in your company. So this doesn't mean that you need to do a ton of training. It can just be recorded videos online. It can just be step-by-step SOPs online. It can be recorded Loom videos that are showing how to use the CRM and why it's important. And it's just going to go so far in less turnover, more sales right away, and people performing and staying. This is what leads to sales retention. There's no other position that also experiences so much turnover like sales does. And it is directly related to there being a lack of direction when they first join a team. So if this is something that you want help with, obviously, it's what I do best. It's part of the sales system that I build out so that people can perform in the first 30 days that they come on board. After we build out your sales system, of course, then we document how somebody could take that on day one and run with it. So if that's something that sounds like it would be helpful for you, please book a call. If you're going to try to do it on your own, that's absolutely fine too. I would recommend getting my list of things to include in your onboarding portal. And if you even have to wing it, just give them something. You know what I mean? It's going to make such a difference. So if this was helpful, please like, share, subscribe, because that stuff really makes a difference. And thank you for listening. Until next time.